The Israeli military has announced it will implement tactical pauses in its operation against the militant group Hamas in a part of southern Gaza following October's terror attacks. It says the 11-hour windows will allow more humanitarian supplies into the war zone during daytime hours. The army says the daily pauses will take place from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. until further notice. The aim is to get more trucks through the Kerem Shalom crossing, the main entry point for aid, and then onto the Salah al-Din highway, the key north-south road. The United Nations says the amount of support entering the Gaza Strip is still not sufficient for the civilian population. Shaina Low is a communications advisor for the Norwegian Refugee Council. How much will this help? Longer hours this time and more notice?
You know, it really is not enough. What we need is a ceasefire in order to be able to access all parts of Gaza and a massive surging up of humanitarian assistance. Of course, having some degree of access to the Kerem Shalom crossing, which aid agencies have largely been unable to reach, is one step forward, but there is so much more. There is so much devastation and destruction and need in Gaza that Israel needs to be doing more to allow for aid to enter and to provide for the protection of humanitarians once that aid is received, to be able to access all parts of Gaza and distribute aid to everyone wherever they are throughout the enclave.
When you're talking about safety of your staff and drivers, how much do you trust these pauses?
You know, the notification and deconfliction system has been broken for months now in terms of, I'm not sure it ever was actually functional, in terms of providing safety for humanitarians. Just last week, during the massive operation in the middle area in Norwegian Refugee Camp, when Israel extracted 4 hostages from Gaza and hundreds of Palestinians were killed in the process, humanitarians were killed during that operation, including a staff member who worked for one of NRC's partner organizations, Humanity and Inclusion. She was killed alongside 7 members of her family. On top of that, we've seen the destruction of aid facilities, including Humanity and Inclusion's warehouse last week during the same operation. So allowing aid agencies to access Kerem Shalom crossing to finally receive and take our goods in our aid into Gaza is one step, but we need to ensure that there's safety for humanitarians. And we've seen hundreds of humanitarians killed over the last 8.5 months.
The other point I wanted to bring up with you was distribution, because a lot of Gaza's roads are already destroyed.
It's extremely difficult to reach people in need in Gaza. There's the severance between the north of Gaza and the south of Gaza, and difficulties in terms of travel aid agencies' abilities to travel between the two. There are difficulties in terms of roads that are passable, being able to coordinate with the Israelis or notify the Israelis and get confirmation that our convoys will be safe when they're moving. And then, of course, we've seen on top of all of that, as the needs continue to grow day in, day out, people are getting more and more desperate and heading to the streets where aid convoys are expected to pass, making it difficult for convoys to reach their destinations and safely distribute to those who are in need.
The latest there from Shaina Low from the Norwegian Refugee Council. Great to have you on DW again.